Hi everyone, and welcome to my glow-in-the-dark Mermicorn nails. So we had a bit of a mix of the Mermicorn and nail. So this is a Salon redesign. So these are on Christie's nails, and she's had a redesign every 2 weeks. So I always use my e-file to take down to a very thin, clear layer of acrylic, and most of these are her natural nails. So there's a few bits of colour, but that's just from a little bit of acrylic from previous sets. So I'm coming in first of all with my NSI Cherry Blossom, and I'm creating a smile line on that index finger. So I've taken the liquid at the back of the bead, placed it where I want my smile line, and then I'm using my brush to shape the smile line into a nice crisp point. And then coming on with my second bead, blending by the cuticle and then forward into that first bead. And then I'm using CJP Negligee, which is this translucent pink, to create the apex and create correct structure. Can't get my teeth in today again. And now I'm creating my glow in the dark, so I'm using 3 parts Snow White to 1 part glow in the dark pigment. And I just use an old nail pop for measuring this out. And pop the lid on and give it a really good shake just to mix that pigment up together. And I'm using my Mermaid scales in Seaweed. And I'm going to start by putting a base of crystal glass down. And then using my cover paint from my cuticle down, just as a sheer wash of colour. Then using a tiny bit of crystal clear acrylic, dabbing into the mermaid scales and then placing on the tip of the nail. And then using the tip of my brush just to nudge into place. Now I'm capping the entire nail in a bead of crystal glass acrylic. You need to make sure that the capping bead, you want to do it all in one because you want it setting at the same time. So just patting that nice flat into place, creating that structure and the apex that I want. Just missed a little bit off the bottom there. Okay, now I'm just going to give that a little minute just to part set. And whenever I'm doing any netting, I use my little finger rest, and then I get my netting and I dip it in my acrylic so it doesn't stick too much to the nail. And then I'm going to press that into the part set acrylic. I'm pressing it nice and deep, and then I'm going to gently just wiggle it out. There you go. And so that leaves you with a netting design. And this is when I then use the white that I have mixed with the glow in the dark. I'm just going to fill that in. Now don't worry, your nail will now look like a Franken nail. Don't worry. You're going to file right through that. So it does look a bit lumpy and a bit unpleasant, but that's fine. So now my smile line is ready, so I'm just going to file that in. making sure I'm happy with that nice crisp ball. Gonna dust it off, and then I'm using Junebug and my glow-in-the-dark white to create a marble. So placing the bead on and then swirling around just with the very tip of my brush, sorry. And then patting into place. I don't want to drag too much because it's going to blend the colours together too much, so I just pat, 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 pat into place. And now I'm going to have a bit of an issue with my camera, and then I'm going to file it all into place. So this is when I start thinking about that structure, making sure the nail is how I want it to be. So I start side walls, and then free edge. And this is where I apologise, because I was originally going to do these as a few separate videos, but I put them all in together. So we're getting back into the filing now, sorry about that. So again, side wall, free edge around the cuticle area and the bulk of the nail, and then I tidy up that side wall free edge one more time when I'm finished. I'm going to dust that one off. Just have a little look at the shape and then just refine a bit more, and then here I come in with my CJP LED tack free top coat, and then that is a 60-second LED cure. Once it's all nice and cool, pop the cuticle oil on, and there you can see that glow in the dark powder straight away. And now the final nail, which is the mermaid nail. No, the unicorn nail. Sorry, the mermaid is the scales. So I've just got a plain white acrylic base. It's just been filed into shape. And now I'm going to come in with my builder gel. So here I'm using Crystal Nails Titanium. I'm using a decent sized bead on the brush, starting in the top corner, and I'm coming across the nail in a slightly S-shaped line. Just adds a bit more movement to the line. And then coming across again with my third line. The good thing with builder gel, it pretty much stays where it's put, and you can add as much as you like. So I'm just going to make sure I'm happy with the lines I'm creating with that builder gel. And you can do these as close apart, as far apart as you like. And then I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds LED, and then I'm brushing in my pure glow-in-the-dark pigment, and that will stick to the tacky layer of the builder gel, but obviously not to the acrylic. And I'm going to get my dust brush, make sure it's all nice and clean, and then I'm coming in with my CJP LED top coat. And you want to make sure, use your brush to go in between those lines to make sure there's not a massive top coat on there. And then using my holographic pigment on the tip of the nail and slightly blending it up. And then I'm using my shimmer pigment in Ferne from the cuticle area and blending down. And then I'm using my pigment brushes just to make sure all the pigment is off. And then I'm putting on my first coat of top coat, just to seal that in. And now for the second coat. Make sure you're capping the edges, and again you're not getting a massive top coat in between the swirls on the nail. And then when that's all finished and cool, bit of cuticle oil, and then you can see that now coming from light to dark. So there you have it, guys. These are my glow-in-the-dark Mermicorn nails. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, please just place them below. And if there's anything you'd like me to do, please just place that below too. So thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.